This is going to be your weekly Chakra Energy Tarot reading. If it's meant for you, it's meant for you. We're going to take a look at the energies that you may be experiencing throughout your chakras. So in the comments, please let me know your zodiac sign and your word of the day. So I'm dying to know how you're feeling post-eclipse. This has been a roller coaster of emotions, things coming to the surface, a little bit of calmness, a little bit of rest, and then all this anxiety about what's to come. Well, so many changes are happening and it's a wonderful feeling. It is. I know some of you may be feeling like you are being pulled backwards, people popping up from your past, left, right, and center. I've been getting all the messages and hearing the stories about, what's been happening and asking whether they're going to come correct. As I always advise, lean back, allow yourself to receive, do not chase anybody. Let them show you who they are, right? Always ask the question, what's new? And if there's nothing new in their life, then you know you're going to get more of the same old, same old. So another interesting fact is that we are going to be having the spring equinox very soon, and that is beautiful. That means we're going into Aries season. So things are going to feel a little bit more fiery, a little bit more upbeat. And I mean, we are having a new moon solar eclipse in Aries on March 29th. So lots of interesting energies coming our way. So some overall themes and messages for this reading today. Mauve, depending on how you pronounce it, but enjoy clear hearing. Very interesting. You're going to hear something. You're going to know something. What you do with it is up to you, but that is an interesting card to start with. Now, that's a number 43 card. Sevens. If you're seeing sevens, here we have Brazilianite, flexibility. Now, I'm not going to lie, we laugh about this card on my live, just for the imagery. If you know, you know. It looks like a fat pickle, but essentially it is telling us to be flexible. So you're going to hear something. You're going to have to be flexible and figure some things out. All right, let's take a look at this inner child oracle card here. What do we need to know? And we have go on an adventure. Today is the day to try something daring. What's something you could do today that would be a little bit daring? I like it. Okay, we're here to spark new energy. So I'm going to take these cards and I'm going to put them to the side. And if we need them later, I will reference them. Now, let's take a look at the Chakra Wisdom Tarot. This is basically going to give us information about what's happening in each chakra. These cards have colors on them representing each chakra. So I love that. Sometimes we get double messages here. So let's take a look at the root chakra, which is our Mars energy, our foundation. Now in this reading this week, I'm going to be doing it this way. Normally I have it going a different direction, but because I'm trying out a new filming area, let's do it like this. So let's see, the root chakra, Mars energy. Well, we got a red card, which is the root chakra. So there we go, a bit of a double message. Eight of Wands, which is manifestation and communication. So I do believe communication is coming in. Very, very interesting energy to begin with. Okay, let's take a look at the oracle cards and let's clarify what we need to know about that communication. The corset, whenever I see this card, I think somebody's about to burst. Somebody's been holding it together. Now, I will say this. I do think that this can be a card of boundaries as well. I mean, it does say that on the card. I think whatever it is that you're going to be hearing, you're going to have to use some boundaries. You're going to have to use some discernment. You're going to have to decide what's for you and what isn't. Now, I've got a kitty cat that I feel like is debating jumping into this reading. And there's the magnifying glass. You're going to get more info. So whatever is coming in, it's going to provide you some information that you may need to know. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out the way to lay out my cards so that you can see them. Like I said, I'm trying new things here. Sparking new energy, right? If I'm going to tell you to spark new energy, I got to do the same. So let's take a look at Venus, the sacral chakra. I guess in a way, it's kind of like trying to figure out the new angles of a camera, right? Okay. Let's take a look at Venus and the Three of Wands. So self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. So it almost feels like somebody is sitting on the sidelines wondering whether they can have something, whether they're good enough. And of course you're good enough. I think that people start to get in their heads, and say, well, I don't know, in the past this happened or that happened. Don't worry about what happened in the past. That's an old story. That's an old you. And when I ask, are you in the old? Are you in the new? What I'm saying is, are you in the energy of when things were not working? Are you in the energy of old stories that don't serve you? Being in the new means you're going to do things differently than you would have. There's the gavel. Somebody's just got to make a decision to leave the sidelines. This is an energy that says, I'll do it tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And look at number 44. Okay, angels are with you. Okay. And I feel like I'm doing all this numerology and math today. 8 of wands and 3 of wands. You've got 8 and 3 is 11. 11s are brand new beginnings. And then I just said it, brand new beginnings. The rabbits. A new beginning is here. The question is, are you willing to put yourself in the position to have it? It's totally up to you. Okay, let's take a look at the solar plexus, which is our personal power. Well, there's another yellow card, personal power. A lot of you are tired right now. The 10 of wands is mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally exhausted. And it's okay to be tired. It's okay to take a break. It's okay to rest when you need it. Ultimately, you know that you've got a new adventure coming your way, and that's wonderful, right? But putting down the burdens is key. And also making boundaries, not carrying the burdens of others, not feeling the guilt of saying no. That came up in the live yesterday. Many of you were asking questions that I could maybe cover in a Zoom seminar or new videos. How do you not feel guilty? Or how do you ask for what you want or better? Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions for me that you'd like to cover, or you'd like me to cover, excuse me. Because the 10 of wands is basically saying you got to let something go because it's hindering your personal power. If you're worried about everybody else and not yourself, then really what you are doing is affecting your personal power. This kitty has no problems with her personal power. She just does whatever, whatever she wants. Okay. So, oh my goodness, this cat, she is funny. Okay, let's take a look and clarify those energies. And yeah, roundabout. Are you going around and around and around, or are you sparking new energy? Because this can mean that something is just repeating itself with no change. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. At the same time, it can also mean that you got to keep it moving and you got to make new connections and see where things take you. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at another oracle deck here and clarify. And there's the swans. Very interesting. Soulmate, twin flame, deep soul connection. There's two ways you can look at this, really, just like I said. You can either keep going round and round and round with somebody, my dad used to always use this line. I don't know if this applies to anybody. He would say, it's better to have a horrible ending than never ending horror, and I've thought about that many times in my life. Do you want to have never ending horror here, where something is really burdensome and it doesn't feel good? Or would you rather put down the burdens and have new connections or new experiences? I think the fear of new connections and new experiences is that it's, of course, the unknown and that it could hurt you. But how do you know that? How do you know? If we were so sure, we wouldn't be asking these questions. We wouldn't be watching tarot readings. We wouldn't be seeking ascension, right? So how can we say that we know? Nobody can tell you that future. You have to experience it as it happens. You have to be willing to experience it as you go. Okay, let's take a look at the heart chakra, matters of the heart. And we have here the Ace of Wands, and I love this. This is a spark. This is a passionate new beginning. This is a purpose. So let's see. You got to get through the roadblock. And look, another number 4, you're divinely guided. You don't have to worry. Everything is going to work out the way that it's supposed to. Okay. But Somebody may be feeling right now that their heart is blocked from this new beginning. They may feel like there's just too many challenges and you got to figure out a way to get around it. There you go. There's the Empress birthing a whole new cycle. And it all comes back down to Venus. Venus is self-worth, self-value, and self-respect. You know, it's interesting. I won't know this until I see all the cards laid out here. But if you notice something, and that is, okay, restrictions, you know, of course it did. Having to make a decision, going round and round, a roadblock. Look at these top cards. They seem to be the ones that are the more difficult. Here, this is like, well, I'm going to get more info. Here, I have a new beginning. And here, this is about deep soul connections and blooming love and divination, fluidity. And then here you have the Empress birthing a whole new cycle. You can see that you have a choice on either side, right? It's all up to you, really. Okay, let's take a look at the throat chakra. What do we need to know about communication? The Magician, communication. Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde is a time of reevaluation, revising, revisiting, redoing. You know, I used to always joke about a redo of a redo. But I'll put it to you this way. You've got to be very mindful of your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions, because they manifest, especially right now. You know, this is a time where anything can happen. That's that eclipse energy coming through. And here it says autumn. It's kind of interesting. Now, I know that seems so far away to think of autumn, but let me give you an example. Back in September of 2024, yes, 2024, last year, we were talking about the full moon in Pisces, okay? And that has led us all the way to where we've just been, okay? Full moon in Virgo, new moon in Pisces energy, right? February of this year. Well, the same is true for this autumn. When we get to, 6 months from now, we're going to be knowing what all of this was about at this time. Don't know yet. It's going to unfold, but it's part of what you call the eclipse cycle, right? There's many eclipses that go, throughout a cycle. So this says within 6 to 9 months, you're going to see how everything is going to shift for you. Okay, let's take a look at what else we need to know about Mercury, the Magician, having all the tools. The Stork, transformation and change. Yeah, the next 6 to 9 months are going to be massive. I really do believe that in so many ways. The question is, are you open to it? And I mean truly open. I haven't said that in a while. Many people think they're open. I call that perceived openness, where they say, yeah, I'll do it if someone or something comes my way. That's not openness. That's saying, I want a sure thing. Now, here we have the card for the third eye, which is intuition, and we have the Six of Coins. And Six of Coins is about equal giving and receiving. It's about investment, okay? Wanting a return on an investment, but it also reminds you to invest wisely, know your worth, know your boundaries. And with that, we have here changing. Things are definitely changing. I mean, if things have been imbalanced in the past, where you've been giving too much and receiving very little, then I think you're starting to reevaluate and change that pattern. And there's the Firefly, another number 11, right? Sparks. That illumination of information, a creative spark. That's that creative spark that was right here, that someone was having the roadblock, the possibility for something new, right? But the question is, are you getting in your own way? Are you making it complicated? I always ask this, is the situation truly complicated, or are you making it complicated? Because I believe the majority of the time we make it complicated ourselves. All right, let's take a look at the crown chakra, the downloads, the information, temperance. Oh gosh, I talked about this on live yesterday. Temperance is patience, forgiveness, possibly reconciliation. And we talked about the reconciliation. Look, if somebody comes back, they got to come correct. And so do you. It's a two-way street, right? That means you've got to have your boundaries in check. You can't be slipping. You can't be moving yourself backwards. You've got to be stronger than that energy. All this is right now is just fear of moving forward. And everybody wants to go 0 to 100. We don't want the in-between. It's just like in dating. I hear so many people say, well, I don't want to do the talking stages anymore. I don't want to get to know somebody. I just want to have my person. Well, it doesn't really work that way. It doesn't go 0 to 100. It takes time. You've got to grow something. It's like a garden. It's like pregnancy. Like I always say, you can't control when the flowers are going to bloom. You can't control when that baby's going to arrive. You've got to be patient. And let me remind you, and I've said this, I don't know, I wish I had a count of how many times I've said this, because I still see people saying, I'm patiently waiting. I've been patient. I've been patient. How much longer can I be patient? Patient does not mean waiting. Patience is living your best life and allowing things to come to you as you go. Patience means I'm going to go live my life day to day. I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go and spark new energy. Maybe I'm going to start a new hobby. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to date. I'm going to put myself into positions to have new energy. Patience means you're going through the process. It means you're trusting the process. Patience does not mean sitting, looking at your watch, looking at the clock, waiting on someone to message you, waiting on someone to choose you. If you sit and wait, you will continue to wait. Life is short, forever's a long time. I want to remind you, right? And what I mean by that is life is short, it's going to pass you by. But if you're unhappy that day to day, hour to hour, minute to minute, it's excruciating sometimes, or exhausting. How many of you have ever been in a job you don't like and you're watching the clock? How many of you are in a relationship that you're not happy in, and all you do is think, oh, like when can this change? It changes whenever you say, whenever you're ready, whenever you've had enough. So in other words, patience does not mean just sitting around and saying, well, when are things going to change for me? It means I'm going to be patient enough to go through the process. That's why we say trust the process. That's why we say trust their process if it's a relationship. Again, the best things happen in due time. The stuff that rides in hot is the stuff that leaves just as fast. So let's take a look here. And we've got the ballet shoes. You've got to have the stamina. I can't make this up. You've got to have the stamina and the endurance. It says effort required. Nobody ever said this would be easy. I would never promise you it's easy. I push you because I care and because I love you, and I want you to have the best of the best of the best. If I don't tell you the truth, who will? If I don't push you, who will? And you can take whatever you like from it. If it helps you, great. If you're not ready yet, that's okay too. But in due time, you will understand that patience, trusting the process, is the best lesson that could ever come out of our lives, really. Here's the cross, destiny. What's meant for you is meant for you. Nothing that's meant for you is going to pass you by. You can't mess up what's meant for you. I understand that a lot of people are going through emotional loss right now, or sorrow, or grief, because things are changing and shifting. It's natural. But understand that everything will be okay. Things have a way of working themselves out. Okay, so that being said, let's just take a couple cards here for some last minute guidance. Let's take from the Moonology card. Work through your fears. There you go. Exactly. Work through your fears. Prosperity lies ahead. See what I mean? Everything is going to be okay. It's time to release negativity. Interesting how we're getting this Scorpio energy, and it's making me wonder, is the moon in Scorpio? I have to look that up, and I'll let you know in the comments what the moon is in, but that may mean that the moon is in Scorpio. Well, my friends, I really hope this reading resonated with you. If you'd like to do a personal reading with me, please let me know in the description box below, or excuse me, the link is in the description box below. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, or if you'd like to do a reading with me. Thank you so much, and I wish you an amazing day.